Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the opportunity. I'll give a broad outline of what Fruit Fly Africa does and where it fits into the bigger fruit industry. So Fruit Fly Africa is a service entity that runs an integrated pest management program on behalf of various stakeholders and shareholders within the fruit industry, which is shown on your right-hand side, which includes Hoardgrow and various other entities that you are well familiar with. I will make special notice of our relationship with the Department of Agriculture. We have a public-private partnership in place with the department by which they afford us a grant that is renewed on a 3-yearly basis, and that enables us to keep the costs for growers low, and it funds specific activities like the production of steriles and also to maintain an early warning system for key pests within the fruit industry. Important to note is that Fruit Fly Africa is a company without a profit intent, so our mandate is to render the best possible service at the best possible price to the benefit of growers and the fruit industries. Our business is founded on 3 key activities: monitoring of a range of pests, sterile insect technique, where we mass produce sterile Mediterranean fruit flies at our facility in Stellenbosch, and then lastly the coordination of area-wide aerial baitings of an organic insecticide over key weeks in the production cycle. So this talk will focus on monitoring. So Fruit Fly Africa monitors for a range of pests: Mediterranean fruit fly, Oriental fruit fly, Cape fruit fly, and false codling moth. And you will note that they are indicated in red because they are international quarantine pests where export countries has a zero tolerance for interception of these species, and therefore the critical need to control them and to bring their numbers as low as possible. Our monitoring network spans across 3 provinces: Eastern Cape, Northern Cape, and the Western Cape, where we cover a network of traps that spans over 50,000 hectares, and we have 21 monitors that service those traps on a weekly basis. Just to say that our monitoring is administered by an app that the monitors use, and there's a picture on the far right-hand side of the interface that the monitors use. They go to each trap, they scan the QR code, it picks up that specific farm, block, cultivar, and everything, and then they capture the data and photos and other information so as to have a date stamp on that data, on that interception point, and to make sure that there's integrity when it comes to the data collected. And then that data is automatically relayed to the internet platform that we see, and then that data is spatially represented on Google Maps so as to analyze patterns and identify hotspots. Just if we look at the Mediterranean fruit fly data, so we use the international metric called the flies per trap per day, which is universally used within the monitoring community. And there's an example of the typical data output that we generate and send through to the growers and the stakeholders, indicating on the x-axis the weeks, as well as the flies per trap per day on the y-axis, and then you can see year on year how the pest pressure is and where intervention is needed. Then specifically on the Oriental fruit fly, the Department of Agriculture has developed a specific action plan to treat interceptions of Bacteroceras dorsalis. It's quite a comprehensive document with a lot of processes, but I'm just quickly going to give you the highlight of what's happening. And for this specific pest, the Department of Agriculture and Fruit Fly Africa merge our efforts together and take hands in order to react to this pest as fast as possible, because, for instance, the Western Cape is still regarded as a pest-free area with regards to Bacteroceras dorsalis. And in order to keep it that way, we must swiftly act and then try and eradicate that pest before it establishes in a production area like the Western Cape. So just briefly, so this is a map of an interception that was made in March of this year in Stellenbosch. That red dot in the center is where the interception was made. And then there are a couple of processes that happen. First off, there's a quarantine area that's called out by the Department of Agriculture, which is indicated by the red circle, and that entails a 5-kilometer radius around that interception point, with the implication that all growers and pack houses are quarantined, and that if they would want to remove fruit out of that area, they need to comply with a whole list of requirements before they can apply for a removal permit. And simultaneously to the quarantine area, a delimiting survey is called out, which is represented by that yellow grid, and that implies a concentrated monitoring network that is also monitored on a weekly basis to see, was that first interception a sporadic interception? A tourist came in from the Transvaal with a mango, he threw it in a rubbish dump, and then it emerged, or is this really an outbreak? So for this particular example, it was an outbreak, because in that 12-week period of that delimiting survey, we caught a second interception of Bacteroceras dorsalis, and that then triggered the eradication protocol, which is a smaller area indicated by that blue rectangle, whereby specific mitigation products are applied to that area in order to eradicate that area, followed by a further 12 weeks of monitoring, which will be repeated upon more interception. So all of this, this action plan is founded on international best practices in terms of how to handle pests like this, and this is what we do. Yes, that's my story. Thank you for your time.
So in our earlier presentations, we already spoke about biosecurity risks that invasive insects can pose, and how there are more and more pathways for insects to move to new areas. And these risks are not just for producers in terms of the potential economic losses when it comes to damage to crops, but also, as mentioned by Nolan, our access to markets. And so while considering this risk, the Monitoring Center of Excellence was born. And this is a collaboration between Fruit Fly Africa and Hoortgrow. And basically the idea is that we could use Fruit Fly Africa's footprint in all of the fruit growing regions where they operate, and use that capacity to set up surveillance networks to monitor for emerging pests and also pests that are high risk for South Africa. And so basically we want to answer the question, what is present? Is it here? Once we know it's present, what is its distribution? And then we can relay that information to producers. And then finally, can we monitor its spread once it's in the country? And so I just wanted to highlight some important insects that we do have a surveillance network for at Fruit Fly Africa. And one of them is spotted-winged Drosophila. I'm just going to go through this very quickly. And spotted-winged Drosophila was in Manda's list that he presented in his presentation. And it's a serious pest of soft fruit as well as stone fruit. And it was first detected in South Africa in 2022. And this was caught in a surveillance network. And after it was detected, it was determined that it's present in quite a large area where its host does grow, in fruit production areas in the Western Cape and Eastern Cape. And this is just a zoomed in section of the map of where we monitored in Western Cape and Eastern Cape to give you an idea of where we've detected this insect. And also where we are monitoring now. So in red is where we've had detections of spotted wing since 2023, and then in yellow is where we are currently monitoring for. So since we know that it's in the area and it's quite widespread, we wanted to focus our monitoring in stone fruit so we can get a better idea of how this insect behaves in stone fruit. And then there's just a larger map of where we've been able to network in other parts of the country. And so far, the only area where we monitor where we haven't found spotted wing is in the Northern Cape along the Orange River. And so I just wanted to add this here to highlight how important surveillance is and to get a better idea of where these pests are in its countries so that we can prevent crop losses and damage to our important crops. And then another insect that we do have a surveillance network for is Polyphaga shottleboarder. So many of you might know this insect as being important pests of our ornamental trees like oaks and London planes. But our interest in it is because it is also a host of many palm and stone trees. And even though it's not a preferred host, we are still determining what is the extent of the damage that PSHB can have in these trees. And so we've set up a surveillance network in fruit growing regions in the Eastern Cape and the Western Cape. And this is just a map similar to the spotted wing map where we have our trapping network for the season and also where we've detected in the past. And then I also just wanted to mention some other insects that's on our list. So these are insects that's not in South Africa at the moment, but there is a potential risk that they could invade, and we want to avoid the extent of damage that can occur if these insects do enter the country and go undetected. So Bactistera zonata, which is a close relative to the insect that is a quarantine pest in South Africa that Kian presented about. And then also in future, we hope to have other insects on this list, like the brown marmorated stink bug, which can also cause a lot of damage. And there have been cases in other countries where it has costed a lot of money when outbreaks occur, when insects intercept undetected. So just to wrap up, highlight some of the important points that we've also heard in some of the previous presentations. Having these early warning systems in place is extremely important so that we can maintain market access, we can prevent huge crop losses. And then at the end, I just also wanted to mention that we hope one day to increase this list and add more insects to the list that we do have surveillance for, but that just means we need more buy-in from industry, more support from industry, so that we can have the capacity in order to do more monitoring on more insects that are at risk of entering the country. So, thank you so much.